Today we're going to learn about how to pass a variable number of arguments to a Python function. We can achieve this by passing two special symbols to the function. The first one is the non-keyworded argument written as *args, short for arguments. The second symbol is a keyworded argument preceded with a double star. You can also call the star an asterisk, not to be confused with Asterix, which is a French cartoon. It's important to note that the naming of these arguments is just convention. The fact that it's called Args or Kwargs doesn't really matter. You can call it whatever you want as long as it is preceded by a star or a double star. Let's write a couple of examples in the world of finance and trading. Let's say as part of your risk management technique, you wanted to calculate your portfolio loss by percentage. In Python, we can do this in a number of ways, and traditionally we've been passing a list of percentages as a function parameter. But we want to learn about variable length arguments, right? Let's write a function called portfolio loss and then add the parameter, prefixing it with an asterisk with the parameter name. For now, we'll just stick with the Python convention of calling it args. But again, as I mentioned earlier, you can call it whatever you want. This parameter will take any number of arguments passed to it, which is super handy. Then what we can do is loop through the args parameter, as you can see here, and try to calculate our portfolio loss depending on the percentages that we pass to the function. Let's execute this function with perhaps a loss of 10%, 15%, and 20%. And as you can see here, the result is pretty straightforward. Your portfolio will go down for a maximum drawdown of 20%. Let's optimize this function and demonstrate the fact that you can add traditional argument to the function as well as symbol-based arguments. Here we have embedded the value of your portfolio inside the function, which of course is not ideal because then you'll have static portfolio value. So let's add the actual portfolio value as a parameter, and then we'll add our variable length argument, modify the calculation slightly, and then execute the function, which yields the same result. Okay, so let's switch to something more advanced now. Let's imagine that you're developing a backtesting function and you want to give yourself the flexibility of choosing the type of signals you want to use during the backtest. I'll name the function backtest. We'll add the double asterisk parameter in there, and then what we can do is just loop through the actual Kwargs items. Now the K stands for key and the V stands for value, and then we'll just print them off. As you can see here, we can call the backtest function and we can add multiple signals in there. In my case, I'm using a moving average, an RSI, and a volume. And remember, they don't have to be all the same type of arguments. If I wanted to do a moving average crossover, for example, I could add a list of moving averages like so.